What was Jim? I'm gonna call a job right now real quick. It's 7:25 here, but I'll have to do it before tomorrow, so I thought I might as well record it for you. So let's jump into it. I've already uploaded the planes. It's pretty simple and easy job. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna jump onto the wall planes, wall types, and they're here 1, 2, 3, 4. Just gonna add stage. I'll show you how it is. Already have a template, a takeoff template, so I'm just going to apply this one, the WT that I've already created. So as you can see, it comes as a template, so I don't have to put them and identify them one by one. So the first one, I'm just going to identify them a little bit further now. So wall type 1, what is it? It's going to be one side cladding, which I'll have to measure that separately, so I'm just going to skip this part. Second part is going to be insulation studs, fiber cement, so I'm going to go rename this one and go 92mm steel stud plus 9mm board, which is exactly the same as fiber cement, and then insole. And then we'll have to come back and measure skirting separately, which I'll show you as well. Wall type 2. Well, it is actually exactly the same as the first one, so I'm just going to add this one. Wall type 1 plus 2. Whenever I see that, because I don't care about the cladding. The only difference is the cladding, so I'm going to measure them separately anyway, so I can just assume they're the same wall type. Let's move on to the third one. There's actually a fifth one there as well. As you can see, third one has double studs. So I'm just going to go to the third one, rename that one. So it's going to be 92mm. The other one is 75mm, as you can see on the right hand side, but I can allow for 92, so I'm just going to go 2 times 92mm stud plus. This is an exotic cladding, which I'll have to measure that separately as well again, so I'm going to exclude this. I see insulation here, no insulation that way, so it's going to be one insulation. There's going to be one 90mm board on the right hand side here, and when I measure cladding it will include this isolation, so I can just exclude that. Yeah, that looks like about it. We'll jump onto the other one. That's the wall type 4. So this is going to be stud 2 times 9mm board, insulation, and then as you can see double skirting because it's an internal wall, but we'll get to that afterwards. I can't really measure at the same time, so the skirting has to be linear meter, not the square meter, so we'll have to come back to that later on. Wall type 5. Instead of steel stud, now we have furring channels. So it's 40mm, but I'm going to allow 50mm because it's probably better to allow that one. Insulation, fiber cement, line of column. Right, so I'm not going to allow it to that side. Now I'm going to Villa board to the left hand side and insulation. That's the rough, pretty much, identification for the walls. Any problems will come back to them anyway. So once the walls are done, I'll come back to this plan, which you'll see. So this is the first one, because it's like a bit of a small job. As you can see, they kind of put both of them together. First one is the existing ground floor. We call it demo plane because they will demolish these sections and then we'll build these new walls. There will be lots of infill work which requires a bit extra allowances, but let's exclude that for now. So, wall type 3, I'm just going to mark it. First of all, we'll have to, so it says the scale, we'll have to scale it. So scale is 1 to 100, but I want to make sure, and I'm going to measure it myself. 3, 6. It came as a bit odd, so I'm just going to touch it. 1 to 100, done. Go back to the stages. Wall type 3. Start from here. Come all the way down. I'm reading these ones as well because sometimes they tell us to do some other stuff too. So if I double click it, they will leave it. I'm going around the external walls. So there is the wall type 2, but 1 and 2 were the same. Just checking if that's exactly cool. So you can see how here it says wall type 1. From that point on, I'll have to move it back because wall type 3 only comes until here. And then wall type 1 starts. So there is like a little column here. We'll have to wrap the columns. We'll have to wrap the columns. We'll have to wrap the columns. 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 Allowing wall type 5 to wrap the columns. Let's have a look what it is. It's furring channels. This is, yeah, it's normally we should have allowed for wall type 5 to wrap the columns, but because what I'm allowing for is a bit more expensive, that no need to change that. You don't have to do it like I do. I'm a bit too comfortable now knowing how much, what cost how much. So as you can see, this is wall type 4 and this is wall type 4. So I clicked on the 4. So I go all the way. 4 continues to the end. This one is 4.2. That one is 4.2. That one is wall type 2, which we will allow for wall type 1. Comes here. Let's have a look. That's wall type 1 as well, all the way up. That's wall type 2, which is wall type 1 and 2 the same, so I can continue. Same as this one, I'll leave that one for now. Same as wrapping the column, wrap the column. Wall type 1 and 2, wrap the column, wrap the column. Wall type 1 and 2, I'm going to measure it pretty much full. Wrap the column. That way, I'm just going to go through here as well. Bit of an allowance, because usually when it's a refurb job, if they demolish the sections, sorry, whoops. So when they do the demo works, they usually pull pretty much the subframe out as well. So that's why I'm allowing a bit extra. So I can't see this wall type, but here, as you can see, there will be a glazing. So there will be like a glass door, which operable wall, but still on top of it, we'll have to infill on top of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to allow this much. It will pretty much cover that. Here will be a bulkhead. What's this one? Wall type 4. Wall type 4. Bang on. Alright, looking good. I'm going to zoom out, have a look. Looking good. Just checking if I missed anything. Yeah, looks about right. So as we talked before, this section here probably will have to do something. So I'm just going to go back. Just going to allow for a bit, like maybe this much. So that will cover us if we have to provide a little bit extra plasterboard and studs on site. It's looking good. Looking good. Just double checking everything. Yep, too easy. It looks good. Now I'm going to measure skirting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just change the name to skirting. This is going to be one length, and I'm going to have another one, skirting. This one will be double-sided. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way around, just allowing one skirting, and then I'm going to go here, allowing double skirting, because these are internal walls, has to be both sided. Alright, that should cover. It's a bit hard to see. I should have changed the colors to something else, but we'll do this for now. Because we have the columns, we'll have to put skirting around them as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chuck a bit extra. Maybe I should chuck here. Just going to chuck a bit extra length here, so that will cover that one as well. We're looking pretty good here, so I'm just going to change this because it's twice. I'm just going to multiply that by 2. And I go back to the planes. So now we have the linear meters, but for the walls we need square meters. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump to the elevation plane, and then here I can see it's 2.7. But if you have a look, the wall continues, and this is a raked ceiling. So for this section, it will be more than 3 meters. But if I allow 3 meters throughout, that should cover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the quantities, which pretty much exact same things that you were seeing on the plane. Just going to click times 3. Just going to copy this, change it to square meters, bang, easy. So do the same thing, do the same thing, do the same thing. Alright, so we got the square meters. I'm not touching the skirting because we need linear meters for them. Alright, looking good. So ground plane, ground floor plan, wall types done. So now we need the ceilings. So I jump onto the reflected ceiling plane, and I'm gonna just quickly have a look at the ceiling types. So I'm gonna again define a stage. I'm just gonna call it ceiling. I'm just gonna assign a blank stage for this one. As we talked before, ceilings will be areas. So what we have here is CT1, CT1, CT2, CT1, CT1, 1, 1, 1. So basically we have CT1 and CT2, and then there will be bulkheads. That one done. Let's change the color. That one done. And then bulkheads will be length. Let's change the color. Let's set the scale. Sometimes you will have planes like this one. Oh yeah, here, I found it. Sometimes they don't have these measurements, so you have to actually rely on what they say on the planes. This is 75. Again, came a bit odd, so I'm just going to click on it. 1 to 100, perfect. Exactly, I'm just double checking exactly what it says under the plane. Alright, let's start measuring. So CT1 actually starts from here, but I'm going to allow from edge to edge because usually we spend a bit more. So as you can see, CT1 throughout, just these ones are CT2s, which will be on top of the operable wall. It's a bit hard to know, but I know that if I go all throughout, that should be perfect for me. So pretty much like a big square, it's pretty easy to mark. So now I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm going to go to CT2s. As you can see, these bulkheads, they actually marked as CT2s. Just marking them as well. So as you can see, I'm allowing a little bit extra just to be safe. when we measure, it's better to be spot on, but because I know I price it up myself as well, so I'm always allowing a bit of extra. So then we are never short, because it's better to price the job a little bit higher than pricing it less. And then these ceilings tell you the heights as well, so that one is 2.4, and then here that's going to be 2.7. So there will be bulkhead too actually. So bulkheads we measure like that. I'm just going to allow a bulkhead around this one as well, just because of the height is different. Bulkheads. Bulkheads. Alright, we're looking good. I guess we've covered most of the majority of the works. This section, I'm assuming it's going to be like an external outdoor section. Yeah, that's an entry, so I can't see any ceiling, so I'm not going to allow anything to there. So if I open this one up, this is how it looks after I measure. I measured these sections double, as you can see, but that's fine. Alright, ceiling done. So now I'm going to move on to the cladding, which you can skip if you want. It's a bit next level for you. You don't need to know that just yet, but I'm going to do it anyway. So again, these are the existing demo plans showing us where they're going to demolish side of the buildings, and these are the proposed. So this is where the ones that I'll be looking. So proposed, as you can see, CL1, CL1, CL2, these are cladding. So as so far I can just say there is two types, and actually if we come down here you can see from the legend as well, CL1, CL2. CL1 is Exotech cladding, and the other one is, it says match the existing, which will be weatherboard linear. I saw that on the elevation, but I'll show you that one as well. So let's go cladding, cladding, and then that will be area, CL1, CL1, and then CL2. It's changing the color. Again, we'll have to set scale. This is a bit tricky one because we have so many different planes. Just checking if they're all the same. 1 to 100, 1 to 100, 1 to 100, perfect, all the same, so I don't have to change the scale individually. I just need the measurement. I can't see any. Still can't see any. Found one. So I go measure. $5,747. Again, it's a bit odd. Click. Done. Alright, let's start. So I'm going to allow throughout. As you can see, these are boards here, cladding boards. So there is none here. There is a door here, so we'll only clad this section. However, because we have to cut the board, it takes a lot of time. So if I allow pretty much the whole section to be cladded, that will cover these extra works. Same here. Easy done. And there is this CL2 here. Normally the top bit is the flashing, but I'm still going to measure it anyway. And this section is going to be CL2. Just going to go all the way up. No, actually, this section it says CL2 as well, which doesn't look like a linear weatherboard. Which is, I'll have to go all the way up here then. Bang, bang. So as you can see, we have windows here, but I don't know what's under it. Doesn't really show, so I might as well just allow for it. Same. The patterns are different, as you can see. That's a bit bad planes because if you see these horizontal patterns, there should be horizontal patterns for the same one as well. Normally, if there was nothing, I would allow for CL1 because that's how CL1 looks like, but I'm just going to allow for CL2 because it says CL2 on it. Because I have like pretty much shitload of allowance, it will cover it. This one is a bit big opening here. So this is the proposed northeast. Because I can't see anything on this side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to demo plans of the northeast and have a look. Yeah, they don't do much demo there. So I have a feeling they only want just this section done. And I've already allowed for this section. So fingers crossed we don't have to do this bit. And CL1, which you see, oh, this is CT1, which is a ceiling type, so I'm going to exclude that bit. That's a building section, so we're pretty much done there. It will be 4 south, north, northeast, southwest, and these are the sections. Just shows us. Actually just going to measure the wall height just to be safe. Actually, look at that, it's 3.1, and then the studs come in 3.2s. Actually, I'll have to change the stud height to 3.2s now, just to be safe. Alright, that one done, cladding done. Just looking at the other planes if I missed anything. This is the slab set out, which has nothing to do with us. That one is all good. Yeah, this shows the operable wall, and on top of the operable wall, you see they want 2 layers of plasterboard, stud frame to continue to the full height, insulation, fixed to the structural beam. So this is why I allowed for this bit here, which then thinking about it makes me go measure a bit extra everywhere there is an operable wall, pretty much this much. Do you see any other operable wall? 1 and 2, that's all I can see. So we have how many classrooms? 1 classroom, 2 classroom, 3, 4. 4 throwable space. Throwable space offices. Yeah, that should give us enough coverage. Alright, Bobishkom. It looks like the measurement stage is done, so that's the first stage. So now I'll have to jump onto the other stage, which will be looking at the specs. And then we go to the spec sheet here. Find the cladding. 137, let's start with that one. Alright. Looks like they just uploaded a generic one. Doesn't talk about exactly what we're using on the job.
Any other problem, including the payload, jeopardize custody of all. They could take my children. No one's taking anyone. It's got to be kidding me. This is all a big misunderstanding. I'm sure we can figure this out. What do I do?
Yeah, I'll stop the video here, and then I'll get back to you shortly.